Every morning when I wake up, I see a man's penis I haven't asked to see. I don't get flashed at every day in the street, but I get flashed at hundreds of times a day online. You shouldn't have to put up with this if you are dealing with this quietly and you don't know how to speak up. I'm speaking up for you and I'm saying this isn't right and we shouldn't have to put up with this kind of behaviour. My name is Emily Atack and I have made a film called Emily Atack, Asking for It. This is a look at my personal life and how I've dealt with sexual harassment offline, but mostly talking about more recent online things that I've had to deal with and how we can tackle this problem and keeping women and girls safer online. This morning I've had, does I Want to See Your Tits count? 31, 37, 8 o'clock this morning. There's a lovely big veiny penis there. It's the ultimate disrespect. It's the ultimate thing of going, I think you're easy access and you're up for it. I talk a lot about my upbringing and how sexual harassment and assault had a huge impact on my life and how it's kind of carried on into my adult life and how it's affected me. I'm very open with the stuff that I get sent online throughout the documentary. You know, I very openly say what sort of stuff is said to me. It was in lockdown when things got really, really bad. I felt sick knowing what I was about to see. And I started to put up these messages on my Instagram. I wanted to know how many other people were receiving them. It made me realise it's happening to so many people. It was kind of rooted with the same thing, how much we've normalised this kind of behaviour as women. I sort of feel we grow up to think that kind of male behaviour towards you is completely normal, as I did as a child. To then bring that into my adult life and still be kind of treated in this way and accept it as normal and accept it as something that there's not really much I can do about. It's something that I am getting more and more kind of angry with. I also went to visit a young group of girls at a school. Amazing, lovely, gorgeous, intelligent group of women, young women, young girls. Yeah, they were sharing their experiences with me. Again, to the point where they talk about it like it's normal. I'm infuriated at the things that they've had to go through. It's a different scale now. You know, these girls, it's happening far too much. They're so accessible and they've all got private accounts. It doesn't make a difference, you know. People don't understand the impact that has. The thing that struck me the most was I thought they were going to turn around and say it was the boys at their school that have, you know, they've got their phones and they're young and they call it banter and all of that. But actually what I noticed was it's older men who know that these young girls are young. They're in their school uniforms. They're being deliberately targeted because they have their school uniform on. I'm learning that this kind of behaviour, this has got nothing to do with what you look like, what you wear, your body type, hair colour, you know, what type of pictures you put up on Instagram. What I'm noticing is whether you put up pictures of your cat on Instagram or a bikini photo, it's happening to both those types of people. It's power and control, and the cop-out people use is to blame the victim, to blame the woman and say, well, you wore a short skirt, you wore lots of makeup when you were very young, you talk about sex in your shows, you know, you put out a very sort of sexy persona, it's your fault. And they think that you can blame women for celebrating their sexuality and celebrating their bodies. You know, when I got to a certain age, I did start to do that. I lent into it all. And, you know, that's my prerogative. And I am blamed and blamed and blamed. And I'm kind of realising now in my adult life that's had a massive effect on me. It's like I wanted them to ask for my phone number in a shopping centre, great, but I didn't want to do all the other things, you know.
The boundary that men are crossing isn't what you're asking for.
No, because people say, but you put up pictures of yourself with your cleavage out and I still don't want someone to flash me.
Yeah.
Why don't people understand that? In order for people to really get on board with wanting to make a change, you have to go back to right to the beginning of these attitudes of men and how they treat women right from the beginning. You know, whistling at them in the street is not acceptable. Catcalling is not acceptable. Flashing is not acceptable. Sending a picture of your penis without someone asking for it, that is not acceptable. At first, going into this, I thought it was very much about the law and having the law changed in order to make a difference with this kind of behaviour. As I go on in the documentary, I realised that it's not just about the law, it's about changing attitudes and behaviour. It was much more of an emotional journey. I want people to really understand that I'm trying to get men and women together on this. This is not about excluding men from the conversation. If anything, it is the complete opposite. The irony is that we actually need the men now more than ever. Why not be a part of the conversation and the discussion and be a part of a positive change rather than keeping it a really negative women against men thing, because that is not what this is.